65% of the energy we use as a country is transported by pipelines. It allows us to live the life we want to, gives us a certain level of prosperity that other countries don't. And they're very safe and efficient.
A medium-sized refined products pipeline moves in one day what it would take 225 rail cars to move.
So that's why the National Transportation Safety Board says that pipelines are the cleanest, most efficient, and safest way to move natural gas and hazardous liquid hydrocarbons. We have a network, and it's growing, of right now in excess of 2.6 million miles of pipe. And every bit of that product is hazardous. These pipelines here were built in the 40s. During the 40s, this was a farm field, but today it's a subdivision. It's important to understand that some older pipelines here in the country are operating more safely today than they did 20 years ago. And that's due in great part to the technology that pipeliners have today. This is an automatic valve. If there was a pipeline released downstream, personnel in the pipeline's control center can automatically shut down this valve.
The Pipeline Control Center continuously watches over pipeline pressure, product flow, and product temperature, always looking for any indication that there may be a problem.
Smart pigs are devices that are used by the pipeline company to tell what shape the pipeline is in underground. Smart pigs can detect internal and external corrosion. They can look at stress cracks. And in terms of excavation damage, smart pigs can tell where the pipeline has been dinged.
Anomalies occurring in populated areas become an inspection priority over other sections of the pipe.
It's very important, if you're an excavator who hits a pipeline, even though it doesn't leak, to report that damage to the pipeline company.
A pipeline marker's purpose is to notify excavators and the public alike that there is a pipeline nearby.
Every pipeline marker is going to contain 3 pieces of information: the type of product transported, the name of the operating company, and a 24/7 emergency number.
The emergency number connects directly to the Pipeline Control Center. Pipeline markers are designed to be line of sight. You should be able to stand at one pipeline marker and see the next pipeline marker in either direction.
Never rely on pipeline markers as a replacement for calling 811.
Pipeline markers are not always located directly on top of pipelines. And a pipeline may not run exactly straight between 2 pipeline markers. This is an aerial marker, and the aerial marker indicates mileage, just like the signs along the side of an interstate highway. Pilots who fly the line for safety use these markers to report locations of certain circumstances to the pipeline operator on the ground.
Now, sometimes pipeline right-of-ways are marked. This is the swath of land that the pipeline leases from the landowner, so they can always get out to maintain or inspect their pipeline. And the right-of-ways can be very narrow, or they can be wider. There's no uniform width of a pipeline right-of-way. There can be multiple pipelines in a right-of-way, and the pipelines don't have to be right in the middle of the right-of-way. They can be off to the sides. And just because you see 2 markers doesn't mean that there might not be 3 pipelines in a right-of-way.
Remember, calling 811 to have pipelines marked is the only sure way to know where pipelines are located.
Based on the type of products they carry, there are 4 major types of pipelines: natural gas, petroleum gas, crude oil, and refined products. There are over 325,000 miles of natural gas transmission lines in the United States. These are large diameter pipelines with pressures up to 1,900 pounds.
Natural gas is the only pipeline product that's a gas inside the pipe, and it will be a lighter than air gas if it's released.
Typically, the gas in these pipelines is odorless.
The sense of smell is not going to be a way to detect a leak.
Natural gas is generally odorized at a gate station, where the local distribution company takes the gas from the gas transmission company. Petroleum gases are primarily propane, ethane, butane, and natural gas liquids. Petroleum gases are liquids under pressure in the pipeline, but when they release, they'll be a heavier than air gas. Crude oil is refined into nearly 50 different refined products, including various grades of gasoline, diesel fuel, jet fuel, avgas, kerosene, home heating oil, and fuel for ocean-going vessels. Not only are crude oil and refined product vapors combustible, but they may also be toxic.
Crude oil can contain hydrogen sulfide, and there are many carcinogens in refined products. The hole in the pipe is not the bad thing. Where that product has gone is the bad thing. Pipeline products, whether vapors or liquids, can migrate below the ground through the soil, through field tile, through sewer pipe. With a crude oil or a refined product pipeline, the liquid can be transported one way on the surface, but another way below ground. Natural gas migration has been responsible for some horrific accidents over the years. Natural gas, like all pipeline products, will follow the path of least resistance. When the path of least resistance leads the product toward an ignition source, that's when disaster can happen.